Are you looking for something different to do with turkey kielbasa? Try adding some broccoli and red cabbage, and you've got a delicious meal that you can pair with pasta, rice, potatoes, whatever you feel like pairing it with. This kielbasa with broccoli and red cabbage comes together pretty quickly, so stick around and I'll show you how to do it coming up next. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Roy. I am a home cook and amateur baker, and I am here on this channel sharing recipes that have helped me to lose over 125 pounds, whether those recipes are mine or someone else's. Now today is going to be one of mine. This is for my kielbasa with broccoli and red cabbage. Now, my brother Dan has been complaining that I have too many things with broccoli in it, but we enjoy broccoli. It's good for you, it fills you up, it's very filling, but change it up if you don't want broccoli. Use some spinach, use some cauliflower, use some mushrooms. Do whatever you like. This is just the base recipe that you can swap things out with, or add things, as you will see. Now I am using turkey kielbasa, and when I first wrote up this recipe, I was using Hillshire Farms. I noted that it was coming up as 2 bites per serving at that time. Lately it's been coming up as 3, so I don't know if they changed their recipe or what happened, but I am going to leave the recipe as it is. For 5 bites, better balanced bites, or old blue points. I did find this Jenny O turkey kielbasa, and this is not sponsored. I just found this, and this is a 14-ounce package. A lot of them are 13. And it was 2 bites a serving, but it actually lowered the bites of the whole dish by 1, so I'm getting this whole thing for 4 bites. Now that's why I tell you to put things in the recipe builder as you are using them, because here I am using a different kielbasa than I used the first time, and I am saving myself 1 bite. Might not seem like much, but hey, every bite counts. So I am going to finish prepping the kielbasa in a second, but let us go over the other ingredients. Here I have 2 cups of broccoli florets that I've cut into bite-sized pieces. It's probably a little bit more than that. It's a 0-bite food for me, so I figured I'd bulk it up a little bit more. The recipe does say 2 cups, and that's what it's calculated for as far as calories and macros. But I kind of just threw caution to the wind, and I am going rogue today. So rogue that I have 1 cup of shredded red cabbage. You could use green cabbage if you want. You could use like a broccoli slaw if you wanted. Really amp up that broccoli. And this is probably a little bit more than a cup. Again, going rogue. 1 small onion that I've chopped up. 1/2 of a red pepper that I've chopped up, about the same size. You want those around the same size so they cook at the same time. I have 2 teaspoons of garlic, minced garlic. It's actually about a tablespoon because we like garlic around here, but you do what you do. If you don't like garlic at all, leave it out. And to round out the vegetables, this is not in the recipe. I just had some extra asparagus lying around in the fridge, so I chopped that up into pieces about the same size as the onion and pepper. Figured it's 0 bites. I'm going to throw it in, bulk up the meal a little bit more. Now, for the sauce for this, when I first made this, I was using GU's sugar-free honey mustard dipping sauce. I can't find that anywhere. So I put it away, and I meant to take it out sometimes. Instead, I found this GU's sugar-free sweet honey flavored wing sauce. Now there's no mustard in it, which I do want some mustard flavor. Let me turn this down for a second while I'm talking. I do want some mustard flavor, so I'm going to add in just a touch of Dijon mustard, but this is what I'm using in place of the other sauce. Improvise. I know, what is it, Sweet Baby Ray's, I think that's the name of it, has a sugar-free honey dipping sauce. I don't know what the bites or points on that are, but that's an option. I like honey mustard with this, but you could use whatever you could use barbecue sauce if you wanted to. Change it up to what you like. This is what I happen to be using, and I am also using some cooking spray, and then I have some salt and pepper to taste. So let me move a few things around and I will show you how I am prepping this kielbasa. All right, so I've cut these into little half moons. That's the way I have it listed in the recipe, but I also say in the recipe, if you just want to cut them into discs, go right ahead. You don't have to cut them in half moons. If you prefer your kielbasa in a more substantial bite, you do you. That's all you need to do. But to make the half moons, I am going to stand this kielbasa up and just slice it down the middle. And then just cut it like I was cutting little discs. And that is all there is to it. And like I said, you could use chicken sausage for this if you didn't want to use kielbasa. You could use chicken breast if you wanted to. You would probably just have to cook it before you cook the vegetables, just because kielbasa is basically already cooked. You're kind of just heating it through. But if you wanted to use chicken breast, you wanted to use pork chops, slice up some pork chops or pork tenderloin, change it up to what you need, to what you want. All right, so let me get this out of my way since we don't need this just yet, and I will bring in what we are going to be starting with. Be right back. All right, so I'm going to be serving this with pasta with some Fiber Gourmet Light Rotini. Again, this isn't sponsored, but if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I love Fiber Gourmet. Tastes just like regular pasta, and it's really delicious. Only 2 bites per serving. This bag is just 4 servings. So I'm going to get my water back to a boil. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to spray my pan with cooking spray and add in the pepper and the onion. And then just stir that around a little bit. So whoa, jumping out of the pan here. I don't know if I said, why is that in my way? That my heat is over medium high. You know, that's usually where I'm cooking, is medium high. So this is gonna go for about 5 minutes until the peppers and onions are softened and the onions are somewhat translucent. So I'll be right back when we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so it has been about 5 minutes and the peppers are getting a little charred color, which I like, gives it extra flavor. So now we're just going to add in the broccoli. Now I didn't show you, they're just little bite-sized pieces. You can cut them to whatever size you prefer, but just something that you're not going to feel uncomfortable shoving in your mouth. So I'm going to put this in here. And now I'm going to cover this so that the broccoli will steam while it's in there. All that moisture that would be evaporating is now trapped in there. It's going to help the broccoli to steam and cook. Now, one thing I did want to mention about the Fiber Gourmet pasta. A lot of people have had questions because it comes up as 3 bites or 3 points. If you look at the actual nutrition facts, I think they may have changed at some point, like quite some time ago, because it's been doing this for a long time. The calories listed in the app, at least in the Healthi or iTrackBites Better Balance Plan app, comes up as 3 bites, but lists this as 130 calories a serving. It's not, it's 100. So that's where there's a discrepancy. So a lot of times you want to make sure you're checking to make sure that the nutrition facts are actually what is listed on the package. If there's any sort of discrepancy, that might be where it is. Now, another thing, people have been asking me questions about using the Healthi app. I don't know why I pointed at the pasta when I said that. Like about editing food, about using the recipe builder. And I mean, I'm not a professional. I don't know everything about it, but I do know some basic things. So if you would be interested in me doing like a tutorial on how to use the recipe builder on Healthi, formerly iTrackBites, or how to edit food in case it's coming up incorrectly, or a lot of times I prefer measuring my food because you get more for the same bites. Like it might say you get 14 crackers for a set amount of bites, but it's say you can go up to 40 grams and still have that same thing. So you can often get a little bit more for your bites. And so you have to edit that in the app. So that's another thing I was thinking of doing a tutorial on showing that. So if that does interest you, leave a comment down below and let me know that you'd like to see something like that. All right, so stir this a little bit. You can see, hopefully, that the broccoli is nicely wet because the steam is trapped in there. Oh, and I was going to add in the asparagus at the same time, and guess what? I did not. Because they're going to cook about the same time anyway. It's not that big of a deal. This is still going to cook a little bit longer. So I'm going to give this another 2 minutes steaming in here, and I'll be right back to move on to the next step. Okay, my pasta is done, and now sauna time. Now I'm going to add in the red cabbage. Now, as I said, you could use green cabbage, you could use that broccoli slaw if you wanted to add even more broccoli. It's your call. Now the cabbage is going to cook pretty quickly. We're going to cover this again, give it 3 minutes this time. If you prefer yours very soft, you could let it go for the full 5 minutes. I'm going to do 3, and then I'll be back to move on to the next step. Okay, so it's been about 3 minutes, and the cabbage has softened up a good amount. Now I'm going to add in some salt, because I haven't salted anything yet. So I'm going to add in some salt, and this is just to taste, salt and pepper, to taste whatever your taste might be, and the garlic. And then you only want to cook this for about 30 seconds until that garlic starts to become fragrant, because you don't want it to burn. Although mixing it through the vegetables, it's going to cling to the vegetables. There's less chance of it burning at all anyways, but you don't want to take that chance. All right, so that's had about close to 30 seconds. This can go away, and I'm going to add in the kielbasa. Now again, I said I put mine in half moon shapes. You can do discs if you like. Now I'm not going to cover this because I don't want to steam the kielbasa. I'd like the kielbasa to maybe get a little color, so I don't want to cover it and chance it just steaming in there. So this is going to go for about 5 minutes, We're gonna add in the sauce, and we're just about ready to serve. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. Been stirring it just to make sure that it gets heated evenly. Now I'm going to turn it down to medium and add in the sauce. Now, as I said, this is not the sauce that I had made this with, and I cannot find it anywhere. I'm sure it's probably on Amazon. I will check there and add it to my Amazon storefront if I can find it. A lot of things have been in short supply lately. And again, because I wanted a little mustard, mustard goes great with kielbasa. I'm just gonna add that in, just a little bit there, and stir this around. Now we're just gonna heat this through for about 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure everything's well coated, everything's heated evenly, and is not going to have any cold spots from the sauce not heating through. Now this is kind of thick, so if you are using it for pasta like I am, rice, you can put it with potatoes, cauliflower rice, you can do all sorts of things with this. But if you want it a little saucier, you can do what I'm going to do. It's not in the recipe. I will add that into the recipe. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water. So let me get a little water. I'll be right back. Okay, I probably have about a 1/4 cup in there just to thin this out, because as I said, it is going on a pasta, so I want to make sure that it's loose enough to coat. And this will all be on the recipe, which is on my blog. And I've been actually pretty good about remembering to say that. Okay. So it has been about 2 minutes. I'm going to add in my pasta. Again, like I said, you can do whatever you want. You could do this plain. You could do it, just bulk it up with more vegetables. You could do konjac noodles. You could do whatever you like. So this is all coated and ready to be devoured. Okay, and there you have it. I'm going to turn off the heat and cover it up so it doesn't lose too much of its moisture. Now this is a serving for 4, and not counting the pasta. I did not include that in the calculations. As I said, originally this was coming up as 5 bites or old blue points. Personal points, hopefully you can figure it out from the blue plan and see where you fall from there. This time, because I changed up the kielbasa, I'm getting 4 bites per serving. I'm gonna keep it on my blog listed just the way I had originally made it, and then you can adjust however you need to with your recipe builder. Now, if you're following calories, the original way I made it, I'm gonna go over the original, then I'll go over what I'm doing tonight, just to show you where some differences are. And one difference really surprised me. For the way the recipe was written, if you were following calories, 1 serving would be just 200 calories. And again, that is not using the pasta, that is just the kielbasa, broccoli, and red cabbage. If you're following macros, the fat for the original version would be 10.2 grams. Carbs would be 12.5 grams, and the protein would be 14.7 grams. And again, that's as the recipe is written on my blog. With the change of just the kielbasa to the Jenny O brand, I'm not including the asparagus in this calculation. But with the changes that I've made for tonight, the bites, as I said, go to 4. The calories go down to 193, just 7 calories fewer. Although you do get a little bit more because this was a 14-ounce package as opposed to the 13-ounce of the Hillshire Farms. But if you're following macros, the fat is 10.8 grams, so the fat goes up just slightly, about 0.6 grams. The carbs go down to 11.1 grams from 12.5. And the protein this is what surprised me. The protein for this version is 21 grams as opposed to the 14.7. I figured there'd be a slight difference, but that's like 7 grams different. So who knew? But I hope that you will give this a try, whether you're using it with pasta, rice, by itself, however you decide to use it. So that is my kielbasa with broccoli and red cabbage. So if you liked this video and this recipe, I hope you will give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet and you are looking for recipes that can help you on a weight loss journey. Share these videos if there's someone out there that you know of who's looking for recipes like these that can help them on a weight loss journey. And hit the notification bell for the next time I upload any sort of video. Also, comment down below, would you use the kielbasa, maybe chicken sausage, maybe just chicken breast? Would you use broccoli, or like my brother, steer clear? I'd love to know how you might play around with this because it could give me more ideas of ways that I could adjust it. And as I said, the recipe for this will be on my blog and the link to that is down below, along with links to other things like my Fetch Rewards code, my Built Bars code, my Amazon storefront, and I will check for that GU's honey mustard dipping sauce on there and add that if I can find it. Also down there you will find links to my social media. Here is my Instagram handle if you'd like to follow me over there. And there are 2 Facebook groups that I'm part of. One is mine, Recipes with Roy, and the other one is Finding Our Way, W-E-I-G-H. And that one I co-admin with Jennifer Lynn from the Jennifer Lynn channel, as well as Bree Coleman from Balancing Life with Bree. So join us over there. There's lots of great tips, tricks, recipes, people, and support. So it's getting a little late. I'm a little behind schedule because I had some shopping to do earlier. So I had better get this on the table ASAP. So until next time, bye.